Hello everybody. I haven't done a collective reading in a little bit. Figured I'd do one right now. I had just done a couple other readings that I had to get done. And I noticed kind of a theme. So I wanted to see if I could get some collective energy going for everybody. I have a couple different decks here I'm going to use. I'm going to start actually with my William Shakespeare playing cards. And see where I can go from there. I'm hoping this will just be kind of short, but I don't know. I can't control channeling, so let's see. So, spirit for the collective. Any messages? Ooh, okay. Interesting. It came out in 3 piles of 2 each. I'm going to pull some more cards first. Spirit. Collective. Okay. This deck is the Wizard of the Barge deck. The suits are a little bit weird, so I will probably have to refer back to the box several times. And then this is the Somnia Tarot. It's a brand new deck. The collective spirit. Oh. I think that should be good. I have other decks if I need clarifiers, but we're going to start here. Oop, running out of room. It's the problem with reading on the floor, right? Okay. Listen. Okay. And then, backing up again. Okay. Interesting. So, I feel, if you've been called to watch this, you've been putting your work into your craft recently. You've been working very hard on your craft, whether this be your actual job that brings you money, or something you'd like to make your career that's currently a passion project, or just something you're passionate about. It's something that your craft, whatever that is. It could even be witchcraft. And you've been putting a lot of work in. And at this point, it feels like internally, you should be at your 10 of Pentacles right now. That's what you're feeling like. I should have my 10 of Pentacles. But instead, it feels like with this 5 of Swords, you're still climbing, you're still having to reach, and you're still being prevented from reaching what you want. And it's a constant battle. That's at the foot of the reading. That feels like what your current energy is. It's interesting. I'm being told to basically read from the bottom up. So that's what I'll do. However, Spirit is saying there is a collective shift happening, and I have been picking this up for myself and for others. There's a big shift going on. I feel like it started actually on Halloween night. I know Halloween is a very spooky, spiritual holiday for all of us filthy pagans out here. But it felt a little different this year. It didn't feel like it did the couple prior years that I've been practicing witchcraft and Halloween happened. Wow, that was a bad sentence. It felt different. It felt like a portal. And we do have the 11/11 portal coming up in a couple days. I do feel like that has something to do with it, but I don't think that's going to be the end of it. I'm not big with astrology. There could be something going on with astral bodies that I don't know about creating all of this, but it does feel like a massive shift is happening. And on that, Spirit is saying with the Chariot and the Six of Swords rather is next. This is possibly the slowest image of a chariot I've ever seen. They're trudging through the water with this chariot, right? And it takes forever trying to trudge through water. I don't know if you've ever tried to run through water, but it's fucking impossible. Feels like, you're moving in place. And what I'm getting from that is that's what you felt like for the longest time, but it is the chariot. So Spirit's saying you've been fighting for so long. For some people, depending on what cycle this is talking about, because again, this could be, I'm mostly getting craft, but it could also just, again, something you're passionate about, something that you've been fighting for a long time, something you've been trying to manifest for a long time. And Spirit's saying, yes, it's been a long time. It could, for some people, it could be weeks. Some people, it could be months. Some people, it could be years, up to a decade even. Depends on who you are and what it is, but it's finally coming. It's been a slow process. It's the slowest chariot ever, but even the slowest chariot is going to get to its destination one day. And then with the Six of Swords talks about what leaving what is holding you back and holding you down. And as you see this card, he has slashed all those sandbags on his hot air balloon with these swords, and he's about to literally soar away to a new direction. The next two cards that came out together were the Five of Wands with the Two of Coins. Five of Wands, I'm getting with this imagery, Spirit is, I'm blowing out the fight is the phrase I want to say, which makes no sense. But basically with the imagery of these candles being blown out, Spirit is putting out the fires. There we go. That's the word. Putting out the fires for you. Everything, because this is the phrase, I was so busy putting out all these small fires, I couldn't deal with the big thing. All these small fires, all these fires, even the big ones that you've been having to fight against, Spirit is putting out for you. They are clearing your path. And with the Two of Coins, they're saying this balancing act you've been trying to do of like, I'm dealing with this and I'm dealing with that, and it's going to end. Because with the next one is the Fool with the Knight of Cups, the next duo that came out. This deck is actually a photography deck done by this photographer, Nicholas Bruno. It's called the Somnia Tarot. So it's based off of, I believe it was his nightmares and, all that kind of stuff. And in this image, you can see he's tied to the bed, right? But he has scissors in his hand and he's about to cut the cord and finally walk away literally from this nightmare. And that's what it feels like it's been for you, is you've been in this nightmare and you're finally about to say, you know what? I'm done. I'm cutting it off where it is. And Spirit's helping you with it because it's taken you forever to recognize the truth of this cycle. It feels like you were fighting for the right thing the whole time, but it's possible you were either fighting the wrong way or from the wrong place within yourself, or there were lessons that were not completed yet that you still needed to learn to go to this next phase. Because if you went to the next phase without learning these things, it was going to be a shit show. So you finally are saying, you know what, I've got it. I'm cutting the cord. And then with that, the Knight of Cups. I actually just got the song Wellerman. But he has an umbrella and there's not even any sight of rain. Like, Spirit is preparing to protect you for what, moving forward from what could be out there. Wellerman's just playing in my head now. It's fine. But it gets even better, okay? And this is what I mean. A lot of these cards came out in the readings I already did both times. So, definitely a collective energy going around, because even before I recorded again, I shuffled everything first, then you saw me shuffle again. Really weird collective energy. But we have the Magician, followed by the Queen of Swords, Three of Swords, Ten of Beasts, which would be Wands. So 10 of Wands, 8 of Cults, which is Pentacles. So 8 of Pentacles, Queen of Curses is Cups, and 4 of Beasts, Wands. So your manifestations are finally coming in here with the Magician. It feels like you're finally seeing both the dark and light side to the situation. Seeing the yin with the yang. Like there's dark with the light and there's light with the dark. An example I've been giving nonstop recently is all the cats got sick. Well, not all of them. Half the cats got sick. I had to set up quarantine zones, everyone had to be quarantined in separate rooms. Sucks. Okay, but this happened to coincide with the last 3 warm days we were going to get for the year. So we were able to rip up the carpet on the stairs and stain them and finish them. And we would have been able to do that if the cats had been out. And I would have felt bad putting the cats away if they didn't need to be, which is why it kept not happening. So yeah, it sucked that everyone got sick. Everyone's fine now. But it was a blessing in disguise. You're starting, so again, you're seeing the light, the dark, and the light in the dark, and the dark in the light. You're seeing the blessings in disguise. You're seeing why things aren't happening, where things are going. With the Queen of Swords, what I'm really getting, that's interesting. This image of the void moon and void sun on this card, and then it's lit up in this one. You're seeing the light again, and just with the image on this Queen of Swords, it's almost like you're learning to fight from a place of compassion and a place of love, like being a warrior, but with the heart of a lover, if that makes sense. Like you fight, but from a place of warmth. I don't know a better way to describe that. The 3 of Swords with the 10 of Wands followed by the 8 of Pentacles and the Queen of Cups and the 4 of Wands. It's a story. The 3 of Swords and the 10 of Wands together is things were dark, things were heavy. 3 of Swords, this is a heartbreak card, oftentimes being stabbed in the back. But the imagery on this card, I feel like even being silenced about something's not being able to speak your truth for one reason or another. And then 10 of Wands, being overburdened. I got the phrase like my mind is a graveyard. Like it's just dark, and finally being able to move from that to something new with this 8 of Pentacles. I like to see that. Which it's the second time it's come out in the same reading. Again, it's working on your craft. It's seeing the fruits of your labor. But in this case, it's like, it's going somewhere, but it's void in here. You don't know where it's going, but you're finally trusting that I don't know where this is going, but it's going to go where it needs to. It's going to go where it's going to go for my highest good, and that's the end of it. Queen of Cups, I feel like a lot of people are learning to lean further into their feminine energy and reconnect with emotions and I want to say obliterate the parts of themselves that no longer serve them. This feels like a lot of like self-love and self-compassion, but also self-renewal and self-revival, I want to say. Crafting what you want yourself to be out of what you already have. Like Phoenix from the ashes, like the things you don't want, you burn away, but then you use those ashes to build the new pieces of yourself that will serve you better, that will serve your highest good. And I'm not saying like, oh, well, being creative isn't good for my job, so I'm going to kill that. No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying maybe you have issues with jealousy, let's say. That's an easy one. Most people have issues with it. And you burn that away inside yourself. You tackle it. You do the shadow work, and you've recrafted it instead into, oh, well, I'm jealous of this. Why am I feeling that way? What would make me feel more secure? And instead making every moment you feel these unwanted emotions into a way to better yourself, just as an example. And then with the 4 of Wands over here, I hear in the back of my head, I'm the king of the castle, you're a dirty rascal. Basically taking back your castle, whether that be internally with your own self, or whether it be like your literal house from maybe you've had people staying with you and you didn't want it, and you're like finally like, you know what, get out, I'm done. Or, even again within yourself, maybe it's letting people take up real estate in your head, like people in the past who have really hurt you, and you finally say, you know what, I'm not listening to that voice anymore. I know that's not mine. I know someone else put it there, and you're evicted. Fucking a line I wrote in one of my own songs. I can't stand living with this fear so dear. It's your eviction notice. Get out of here. And I wrote that about like in my own head. Like, you're not, this voice, this thought, this feeling is not welcome. Go. This is my body. And if I don't want this feeling, this thought in my body, you can't be here. Goodbye. Eviction notice. But these little lava things at the ground remind me of fireworks. And Four of Wands is a celebration card. So it's like finally like the end of your journey, and Spirit is saying it's time to celebrate because it's coming. Up here, the 10 of Wands and the 2 of Wands are together. These have quotes from Shakespeare on them. This above all to thine own self be true, and it must follow as the night the day. Thou canst not then be false to any man. Hamlet. And there's nothing either good or bad, but thinking makes it so. Hamlet. This is making the decision to drop all these burdens. 10 of Wands coming out twice. Drop all these burdens, especially burdens that are causing you to not be true to yourself, to compromise your self-beliefs, your self-worth, your own values for the sake of peace or other people or a job or whatever it is. Not sacrificing anymore and repeatedly making these decisions with the 2 of Wands to just be yourself, nothing is good or bad, but thinking makes it so. When you're faced with these decisions, seeing the good and the bad, seeing what the final outcome, not just your immediate emotions on the situation, but seeing, will this decision lead me to my highest good? Not just tomorrow, but in a year from now. And then we had the Queen of Swords coming out with the 3 of Swords. Double, double, toil and trouble, fire, burn, and cauldron bubble. Macbeth. And the more pity that fools may not speak wisely, but wise men do foolishly, as you like it. So these together, not letting yourself be hurt by other people's foolishness, not taking it personally when something does something foolish that hurts you and being like, well, I guess that's your choice, and I'm going to move on from here knowing that, and you're probably not going to come with me on my journey about it, but like, I'm going to just move on and not carry that baggage with me anymore. With these both being swords, I see the Queen of Swords cutting off this heartbreak of the 3 of Swords, using that sword to cut through with discernment and only take on emotionally and even physically in 3D what is of the highest good, what serves you, what you want in your life, and not anything else. And finally, we have the wheel has come full circle. I am here, King Lear, 4 of Wands, and Queen of Cups. Time shall unfold what plighted cunning hides, who cover faults at last shame them derides. King Lear. These together on 2 levels, several levels actually, come full circle. Spirit is saying, again, what I was talking about earlier, this cycle is ending. You've come around. You've when I come around, you've seen everything you need to see in this cycle. There's nothing more you can learn from it. It's finally the end. You are finally here. 4 of Wands. The time of celebration is here with the end of this cycle. And with the Queen of Cups, it's having compassion for yourself in these times you had to cover for yourself, whether you thought you had to or other people made you. Also, as people, because I've had this feeling that collectively a lot of people in everybody's lives, the truth is going to come out collectively about everybody. Again, situation depending, everyone's different. However, with the Queen of Cups, as this happens, not being like, I knew it, and getting all sly and having an ego about it, but instead being from a place of compassion, like, well, truth is out. I don't have to carry that internally anymore, and now I can move on in peace. I'm really seeing this Queen of Cups here as choosing peace above pettiness, really, as truth comes out, and choosing to celebrate your wins instead of celebrating the losses of your enemies. But overall, collectively, a big cycle is ending. The stress is leaving. The fights are leaving. Your efforts are finally paying off. You're no longer going to have to struggle to get the rewards you deserve, and cool, a better future is coming. I hope this resonates for you if you watched it, and if you'd like a personal reading, if I post this on YouTube, I'll put my email below, and if it's on Facebook, just message me. Okay, bye guys.